And then if there's more lien holders, every one of them has an additional 7 days, and it just gets tacked on. So if there was 5 liens, you'd go 7 days for the first, then another 7 for the second, then another 7 for the third, then another 7 for the fourth, and another 7 for the fifth, and another 7 for the sixth, and so on. It's just 7 days keeps getting added on no matter how many liens. And we can get into multiple liens, like when you have new construction. Maybe there was a construction loan, and maybe there was 5 mechanics liens from all the different contractors who never got paid, and those liens got attached to the property. And a lot of times like the lumber yards who supply the materials, a lot of times those are the lumber and the materials for the job site is financed to the builder. And if they don't get paid, they'll get in there with a lien. Now, some of these large lumber companies are already set up and they have financing to back them up so that if the property does go to foreclosure, that they can go and redeem. And I've seen a lot of builders get some really good deals on some properties because the builder themselves defaulted, the all the other lien holders didn't have it, they couldn't, the contractors, they couldn't get the financing or the cash to redeem the properties. So the only one left in play that had the financial ability to do this was the lumber companies. Well, the lumber company comes in, all they have to do now is pay for the original construction loan. They don't have to pay off any of the other contractors. They've got the construction loan, the original construction loan, which was whatever was drawn on it, which would usually have included the lot itself, and then the cost of their lumber, which they've already paid for basically, and then all the other general contractors, which a lot of time the major expenses with them guys is labor. So a lot of times a construction company will pick up a excellent deal on a property that they supplied the lumber on, the builder defaulted, the construction loan filed foreclosure, all the other subcontractors filed their liens, but they didn't have the ability to pay them, so they went through the whole entire process, and the builders or the lumber yards now own the properties, and then they can sell them off at a fire sale price and pay off their investment and get their money back from the lumber and make a few bucks on profit on the side. Okay, now after the 12 months plus all the additional redemption periods have run their course. So in our example here, if we had 2 additional lien holders, we went 189, let's see, 197 days, 196 days. We had 196 days in our example there. So after the 196th day, all redemptions have run through. The foreclosure is basically over now. And this is when you'll be issued the final holder will be issued the sheriff's deed. Now remember when I said earlier, when the sheriff's sale happened, you were issued a sheriff's certificate. If the second or maybe even the third did the redemption, they'd be the ones now holding the sheriff's certificate, which was issued back at the sheriff's sale. So whoever's holding the sheriff's certificate at the end of this whole process is the one that's going to be issued the deed to the property. And then typically this is when the property becomes an REO. REO stands for bank owned, real estate owned division in the banks. And that's the lingo that we use in the real estate business for REOs, bank owned properties. After it's gone through the entire foreclosure process, the bank now owns a property and they're holding it in the real estate owned division of the bank. And then that's also when they can file the eviction on the property. And the new buyer can finally take possession of the property. So if the homeowners were still in the property right up through that whole process, then the sheriff will evict the homeowners and turn the property over to whoever the deed holder is at the end, and they could finally take possession of the property. So this is a process like in Minnesota that could take, on average, up to 12 months because of the length of time. It could take up to 6 months to get to the sheriff's sale, and then minimum another 6 months for the redemption period. So it's generally about a 12-month process for the foreclosure process in the state of Minnesota. And that's the foreclosure process.